Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to Core Primetime News. I am Abosede Omowuyi. In our major news tonight, Kogi supplementary governorship election. Independent National Electoral Commission wins round 1 as court affirms conduct of election. Also in this program, no cause for alarm as arsonists torch INEC office in Dekina. Sensitive voters' materials intact, says resident electoral commissioner. Also in the news, Nigerians kick against media censorship. Berate Senate bill to stifle social media. And from outside Nigeria, Israeli-Palestinian restiveness raises further tension in West Bank as 2 Palestinians are shot dead for stabbing an Israeli soldier. Now details. A federal high court in Abuja has given the Independent National Electoral Commission the go-ahead to conduct supplementary governorship election in Kogi State on Saturday, December the 5th. This was after it declined jurisdiction to resolve any of the constitutional issues raised in 5 separate suits challenging the legality of the planned runoff poll. Justice Gabriel Kolawole said the court lacks the jurisdiction to grant the prayer sought by all the plaintiffs and directed them to go to the Election Petition Tribunal. Bassi Aye reports that the suits were filed separately by Governor Idris Wada, James Falike, and 3 others. With the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja giving nod to the Saturday's supplementary election, INEC has also shown its resolve to conduct the poll even at places considered as flashpoints. CoreTV's Rashid visits Dekina, where INEC office was raised for on-the-spot reports and the preparation of INEC in conducting the supplementary poll in that area. Here is his report.
Few hours to the commencement of the supplementary poll, which is to be conducted in 18 local government areas in Kogi State, 91 polling units precisely. 27 out of this polling unit is situated in the Dekina local government area. And this place, as you can see, is supposed to be a beehive of activities. This is the INEC area office in Dekina local government area, raised down in the early hours of Friday. And with this development, even as we have theatrical displays in court over this election, we are also having a violent one now taking place due to how this place was raised down. But nonetheless, as it stands, INEC may want to say they will continue with this election, come what may, irrespective of this kind of a heinous crime, which they say was actually carried out by hoodlums.
It didn't deter us from carrying out our responsibilities to hold the supplementary elections according to the law. And therefore, we have decided to use, as you have seen now, the police station in Dekina, and we are distributing our materials, the sensitive materials we brought from Lokoja. We want the people to be very peaceful and for us to conduct these elections.
Thank you very much.
Please, do you think...
Well, that will be it. As you can see, the INEC is ready to conduct the election in Dekina local government area, come what may. And now that they are now being housed in the police station, it is believed that this election will go without hitch and it's going to be free, fair, all things being equal. And as it is now, the machines are on roll to see that the election in all the 18 local government areas across 91 polling units are conducted on the 5th of December. Rashid, CoreTV News, Dekina.
The Independent National Electoral Commission in Kogi State says all is set for the Saturday supplementary election. The resident electoral commissioner, Halilu Pai, says necessary logistics have been put in place to ensure the smooth conduct of the election in the 91 polling units where the supplementary election is to hold. According to him, distribution of the materials to be used for the election, particularly in all the voting points in the affected 18 council areas, has been at the various local government for onward distribution to the polling units on Saturday.
We have received the sensitive materials from the central bank and have shared it to the 18 local government electoral officers on the election day, which is Saturday, 5th of this month. From the local government office, these materials and the personnel and the security also taken to the various polling units. We have 91 polling units spread across 18 local governments. So we have 3 local governments that are really not affected at all by this supplementary election.
And still on elections, ahead of governorship elections in Bayelsa and Kogi State, the National Orientation Agency has called on eligible voters to come out en masse to exercise their franchise and ensure the sustenance of democracy in Nigeria. Director General of the agency, Mike Omeri, said in a press statement that it was time for Nigerians to exercise their civic rights and responsibility by electing leaders of their choice. He also disclosed that several measures have been put in place to ensure security of citizens before, during, and after the elections. And as the countdown towards a major political showdown in the Bayelsa election holds, the level of interest nationally in who emerges winner has become a major concern. The incumbent governors Seriake Dixon and Timi Silva go head-to-head in the polls. Our correspondent Akin Obakaye has more. We'll bring you details of that in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, the presidency plans to table a medium-term expenditure framework and a fiscal strategy papers at the National Assembly next week. This, it says, is to pave way for the presentation of the 2016 budget proposal to the federal lawmakers. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Elang, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja. The U.S. mission in Nigeria has warned American citizens in Abuja about an impending attack on areas frequented by Westerners. The warning was issued online by the embassy to U.S. citizens residing in the Nigerian capital. It says categorically that extremist groups are behind the security threat. The Americans, however, say they are in touch with security agencies in their country. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has charged the News Agency of Nigeria to brace up to the challenge of becoming the most credible source of news in Africa. The minister gave the charge while on a familiarization visit to the agency's headquarters in Abuja. Correspondent Emmanuel Onu has more, and this report presented from our studio.
The visit to the agency is the first by the information minister since he assumed office. He carried out an on-the-spot assessment of facilities at the news agency and concluded that NAN has a proper multimedia studio and other state-of-the-art facilities. Lai Mohammed later addressed the management team led by former presidential spokesman Imani Boro on the need to cue in the change mantra of the present administration. He also wants the organization to brace up to become Africa's top national news agency.
The news agency of Nigeria must regain its competitive edge and play in the big league. NAN must show more hunger for the kind of news that cannot be resisted by subscribers. It must go beyond a bland reporting of the news, beyond front-loading its cast with mostly news about the activities of government. It must become the first source of credible news about Nigeria. A situation where Nigerian media establishments quote foreign wire services for events that occur within their country is a big blow to NAN. We should ordinarily fill that void.
Earlier, NAN Managing Director Imani Boro had attributed the challenges at the agency to inadequate funds. He, however, said NAN is seeking alternative ways of raising funds outside government allocation.
We actually have approval already for a TV channel. But it's not a TV station in that sense, like a TV channel that we will put on DSTV and on Star Times. It's going to be a Twitter kind of station.
The minister plans to continue his visit to other agencies and parastatals in the Information and Culture Ministry next week.
We'll take a quick break now and be back with more on CoreTV Primetime News. Do join us again.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Glad to have you back. Remember, you can get more on our stories and all the news items via our social media platform. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter, our handle is CoreTV News @G. And you can watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. In our major stories tonight, a Kogi supplementary governorship election, Independent National Electoral Commission wins round 1 as court affirms conduct of election. No cause for alarm as arsonists torch INEC office in Dekina. Sensitive voters' materials intact, says resident electoral commissioner. And Nigerians kick against media censorship, berate Senate bill to stifle social media. Thanks for staying with us. FCT Minister Mohammed Bello has described the Abuja Rail Mass Transit as one of the priority projects of the present FCT administration. The minister said this when he visited the project site at the airport, Wupa, Idu and Ring Road 2 stations in the course of a familiarization tour of project and facilities in the Federal Capital Territory. Bello assured Abuja residents that he would do everything possible to fast-track the completion of the project, considering the relief it would bring to the commuters in and around the capital city. He also noted that the FCT administration would support any project that would go a long way in reducing traffic congestion in Abuja. The minister expressed satisfaction with the quality of the job done so far, but also wants the contractors to double their effort in delivering the job on schedule. Meanwhile, the Senate is advocating the return of toll gates in various parts of the country as an alternate source of generating funds for road maintenance. It also wants the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission to brief the Senate on federal government concession and public-private partnership arrangement on roads construction and maintenance. These were part of recommendations of the ad hoc committee on work on the total collapse of federal roads in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the bill proposing 2-year jail term for false publication on social media against public officials has passed its second reading on the floor of the Senate. Following widespread outrage over plans to censor social media use in Nigeria and the lamentation of some senators over the use of the platforms, correspondent Sarah Ayeku samples the opinion of Nigerians in this report.
The bill for an act to prohibit frivolous petitions and other matters connected therewith seeks to compel critics to accompany their petitions with sworn court affidavit or face 6 months imprisonment upon conviction. Sponsored by Bala Ibn Nahala, a member of the ruling All Progressive Congress from Kebbi State, the proposed law sets out heavy sanctions for people who falsely criticize public officials or institutions. However, some Nigerians disapprove of the passage of this bill, as they see the proposed law as a clampdown on freedom of speech and a deliberate targeting of critics of federal lawmakers and the National Assembly.
They want to be doing something and they don't want people to actually against them. They don't want people to talk against what they wanted to do. So anything they pass into law now, everybody is going to accept, because you know that if you say anything wrong against them, 2 years in prison or 4 million naira. So they are also dividing up our own a right to give our own opinion of speech, to give our own opinion on what is wrong or right.
I don't think they should pass the bill, because I think the social media is just there for a lot of reasons, and this is one of the reasons why the social media is there. People should be free to post whatever thing they want to post, okay? And according to the question, like, how about if it's not about him? Like, will they still pass the bill? Is it supposed to be about him or about the social media? So I think it's not relevant. They should pass the bill.
On the other hand, these Nigerians support the passage, but on conditions.
If it is not right, those people that posted it, they could be charged. They can charge them, and you know, it's either they pay the fine or they go to jail. But if it is right, you know, many in this country, they don't want to say truth, or they don't want to know, they don't want people to know what they are doing. And it is good to know what they are doing so that we'll be able to control and correct them. So before you can post anything, you should be able to know the real fact before you say it.
No, it's supposed not to be. Because what if I say something that suits them? Is there anything for them to give me? And today we are still appealing to people, or even to the Senate, that there should be free, that they should give us freedom of speech. Then, if they impose such a law, it means we are not yet practicing democracy. So that's just what is it. But for the real fact, the fact stands that if they want us to progress here in this country on democracy, such a law shouldn't be promulgated.
The bill has, however, received an unusual rapid attention at the Senate, with 2 readings made within 2 weeks of its introduction. With many Nigerians slamming the lawmakers, mainly using the social media, it is hoped that the Senate will listen and have a rethink on this anti-people and media bill. Sarah Ayeku, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned the former Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Patrick Akwobolokemi, Executive Director Captain Ezekiel Bala Agaba, Ekene Nwakuche, Governor Amechi Iwan, and 2 companies on 22-count charge of conspiracy, fraudulent conversion, and money laundering. The suspects were taken before Justice Ibrahim Buba of the Federal High Court, Lagos, for allegedly converting 2.3 billion naira meant for the implementing of the International Ship and Port Security Code, which NIMASA was designated implementation agency. The former DG was said to have gotten presidential approval for the release of the said monies through the office of the then National Security Advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki. EFCC said an implementation committee was set up, but noted that investigation showed that on receiving the money, the committee diverted the entire sum to their personal use, using companies owned by them and their associates to launder the illegal proceeds. The chairman of the Presidential Implementation Committee on Marine Safety under the Jonathan administration is in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. EFCC operatives arrested retired Air Vice Marshal Salihu Atawodi over what a source at the commission describes as a case of conspiracy, abuse of office, and misappropriation of public funds. He was said to have abused his position as chairman of the Presidential Implementation Committee on Marine Safety to defraud the Nigerian government of over 600 million naira through dubious contract to procure military boats. The contract was said to have been awarded to Hypertech Nigeria Limited, believed to be owned by one Alhaji Rabiu, but not a single boat was supplied in spite of receiving full payment. AVM Atawodi was interrogated by a team of investigators after he showed up in response to invitation. When contacted, EFCC spokesman Wilson Uwujare confirmed Atawodi's presence at the commission, as well as the fact that he is assisting investigations into dubious contracts. And nemesis has caught up with daredevil armed bandits who killed a Nigerian customs officer about 2 months ago in the Ngoro Pala area of Imo State. According to the Imo State Police Command, the men of the underworld who gunned down the customs officer carted away his arms. Our Imo State correspondent, Ajibade Awofeso, attended a publicized briefing by the State Police Command. We'll bring you details of that in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, over the years, insecurity issues have heightened fears among the populace of Nigeria, with Boko Haram topping the list as a major form of insurgency in the country. This, however, has become a burning concern to Nigerians as kidnapping, armed robbery and election violence are now causing concerns among Nigerians. These concerns took center stage on our breakfast show, Core Digest. Correspondent Suliya Tojo looks at the issues raised. The problem of insecurity in Nigeria is getting louder and louder with the incident of kidnapping, armed banditry, Boko Haram insurgency, and most recently, the violent protest by the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB, and the Independent People of Biafra, IPOB. These concern of the state of insecurity in Nigeria forms the fulcrum on CoreTV News breakfast program, Core Digest.
Over the years, the generation continued up until where we are now, that you now see people coming out, like the show of shame that Maureen Oga did during the election. She became the spokesperson for PDP, whereas it was supposed to be a secret police. All of those things helped in no small measure to bring down the effectiveness of intelligence in our security system.
Yeah, I wouldn't see it as being a training issue or a training problem. I want to see it from the applicability of what you are trained to do. How are you applying it within your own system? Okay, and more so when here you are, irrespective of what you have been trained to do, there is a master somewhere, the political master, so to speak, who is dictating to you what is to be done, and you are refusing to be professional. I think that is where the issue comes in, because some of them are trained abroad.
Some contributors also express worries over the state of national insecurity, asking that more needs to be done.
I think the governor is done a good job, but he has still have more to do. About the electoral issue, to my only suggestion, that the government should give them kinds of dialogue. To dialogue first before any other thing.
The present administration, no doubt, has an uphill task in its hand to solve the prevailing insecurity situation. The donation of security equipment by the Lagos government to the police is one of several ways to check this fostering menace.
What I want to see is that let's take that government adopt this 2014 national conference, so that every this issue is dialogue. Because without that, this agitation of is not solved. Thank you, and I want one Nigeria.
Now, the fuel scarcity being experienced in the nation is biting hard on the residents of Plateau State. The managers of filling stations have been accused by residents of conniving with the black marketers by choosing to sell or hoard the product. Plateau State correspondent spoke with the state commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, who frowned at this development. Here is the report.
The commandant of the NSCDC in Plateau State vowed to bring to book those who choose to worsen the hardship of fuel scarcity on residents in the state. He called on those who are engaged in shady dealings of the products and their cronies to desist from such acts before the arm of the law catches with them.
Some vehicles have constructed tanks into their vehicles so that they can take, some can take as much as 100 or 200 liters. Obviously, these people are taking this fuel to be sold in the black market. I want sanity to be brought into this. When you buy in jerrycans more than 2, then there should be a question mark to it. If you want to buy in jerrycan for your generator or what have you, you have no reason to bring anything more than 2.
A just-based lawyer says 2 wrongs cannot make a right, adding that those who hoard the products can only be punished according to the law.
And so, if somebody has, hoarded, fuel, and is not selling it, and if you have that opportunity, if it were me, I will order people to fall on the queue and then ask them to sell at the official rate. They recover what, they sold. I know I could still go ahead to try them for committing, a wrong, if there's a law, backing that, while I order them to sell it at the, price. I believe by that, justice would have been done to the public, to the person who has, done wrong, and even, to government itself. I quite appreciate, what our government is doing to bring sanity, but I believe we can, do that in a very, wonderful way that justice is ensured for the wrongdoer and even for those who are wrong.
Some black marketers who also find it difficult to assess the products lament the activities of filling station managers in the state.
They don't have to give us fuel at any time. They are just selling for black markets. All the managers in this Plateau State they are corrupted and they have black market filling station. When the managers get them at their own constant filling station, the dealers, they have own constant filling station. The dealers, but they have their own constant filling station. When they bring the fuel, they know they are selling 11,000 liters. They know they even sell 11,000 liters.
They carry the remaining one and go to their filling station. They are selling it 150, 140. That is what happened by Lisa.
So they are not trying now. This is corrupted. Why people are suffering, you are carrying your fuel selling for black market for 130 as a manager.
Other respondents called on the government to bring a quick solution to the scarcity due to its far-reaching economic consequences.
We'll bring you more reports on CoreTV Primetime News after this break. Do join us again.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Political Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Thanks for staying with us. Now to news from outside Nigeria. Germany's parliament has approved Chancellor Angela Merkel's plan to join the military mission in Syria aimed at defeating the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL. Germany will send 6 Tornado reconnaissance jets and a refueling aircraft to back up the international anti-ISIL coalition, but its military will not conduct airstrikes, report says. The $142 million year-long mission also involves deploying up to 1,200 military personnel, as well as a frigate to support the French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle, which Paris has dispatched to the region. The international coalition has stepped up its campaign against the group following last month's deadly terrorist attacks in Paris, which ISIL claimed responsibility for the massacre in which 130 people were killed. Meanwhile, a Maoist cult leader who used violence, fear and sexual degradation to control women he held captive has been found guilty of a string of sex assaults. Aravindan Balakrishan, 75, raped 2 followers and falsely imprisoned and mistreated his daughter for more than 30 years in a commune in South London. He told his followers he had godlike powers, warning them that a supernatural force called Jackie would cause natural disasters if he was ever disobeyed, Southwark Crown Court heard. And police are seeking 2 new suspects accused of aiding the fugitive suspect from the Paris attacks, Salah Abdeslam, the Belgian prosecutors affirmed. The unnamed pair are armed and dangerous and are thought to have helped Abdeslam travel to Hungary in September. The attacks on 13th November left 130 people dead and more than 350 wounded. Meanwhile, at least 25 Iraqi soldiers and militia fighters have been killed by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant in 2 suicide attacks near Iraq's northern city of Ramadi, military sources say. Friday's attacks, which involved 5 suicide car bombs in the Hamida and Bu Alta villages north of Ramadi, also injured at least 23 more Iraqi soldiers, according to report. The attacks came days after Iraq's Prime Minister Hadi al-Abadi said that his country did not need foreign troops on the ground to defeat ISIL. And 2 Palestinians stabbed and wounded an Israeli soldier in the Flashpoint West Bank city of Hebron before they were shot dead by soldiers. The incident comes after a recent spate of violence in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories following Israeli incursions into the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Since October 1, a total of 110 Palestinians have been killed, along with 21 Israelis, an American and an Eritrean. And now to sports. Under-17 World Cup coach Emmanuel Amunike has been given more responsibilities by the Nigeria Football Federation, adding the under-20 national team to his portfolio. Amunike led the Golden Eagles to conquer the world in Chile, and the NFF confirmed that the former Super Eagles player would assist coach Manu Garuba at the under-20 Flying Eagles, while still retaining his position as the chief coach of the Golden Eagles. President of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick, said that Manu Garuba and Amunike have a relationship that would be beneficial to Nigerian football. Meanwhile, members of FC Taraba have taken their protest over non-payment of the salaries and March bonuses to Government House, Jalingo. The players say they had not been paid in the last 1 year. Udwa Godwin now reports.
Only pleading, we are pleading. For a good 1 year, we don't have salary. We have expected to be blamed for complete from January to February without pay.
These players were seen early Friday morning with placards with inscription like, "We are dying, give us our 12-month salaries." According to them, they have been abandoned by the state government for close to a year, and they claim it has affected their performance in most of their matches. This is what they have to say.
Just small money, they don't feel they promise us bailout money. Where did bailout money go? Let them do something, Allah. We are not the children. Everybody is entitled. We are educated. Everybody go to school.
We need this our money. We are playing with hungry. We don't have anything. We don't have any job doing apart from this football. See, so this our government, they are heartless. They are not good people. That is the truth of the matter. Give us our money.
Up to this day, no money. I will never heard any recommendation. We will pay you today or tomorrow. Nothing like that. Excise patient. Excise patient. Patient can be 10 years. So we are tired. That's why we came here. We want to see the governor.
But government officials described the situation as an inherited problem. They expressed a readiness to tackle it and pleaded for time to allow the committee set up to look into the matter, submit its report.
The root of this problem, so that next time it doesn't happen again. Is that not the reason why? Yes. Now we did that so that we can now get. Yes. And it was day before yesterday we received the report. Is that wait now. Excuse me. You saw our plight. You saw the plight of government, and government also saw your plight. Did this government come in to meet any comfort? No. Just as you people were suffering, this government came in and made the suffering the same way. Do you understand? That if this government had not met the situation the way you people were, they would have paid you.
After the negotiation with the government, the players calmed down, but they insist that the issue has to be resolved as soon as possible. Udwa Godwin, CoreTV News, Jalingo.
And still on sports, FIFA has suspended Vice President Alfredo Hawid and one Angel Napo for 90 days. The pair were arrested in Switzerland at the request of the U.S. authorities on suspicion of accepting millions of dollars of bribes. Napo, 57, oversees football in the South America Confederation, and Howard, 64, is interim president for North, Central America and Caribbean football. U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch said the betrayal of trust set forth is outrageous, as the scale of corruption alleged is unconscionable. The pair were part of a total of 16 officials charged by U.S. authorities investigating corruption in the organization. The Rio de Janeiro Games organizers for the 2016 Olympics, consisting of 10,500 athletes, has cut off the budget for air conditioning in athletes. Mario Andrade, spokesman for the Rio Games, disclosed that organizers had found up to $520 million that needed to be cut as part of balancing the operating budget of $1.9 billion. Andrade said national federations might pay for some athletes, though it's unclear if poorer federations could manage the added costs. And Jose Mourinho said Thibaut Courtois is fit and available for selection tomorrow, but John Terry, Ramirez and Falcao remain out. The manager had hoped to have a full squad at his disposal for the visit of Bournemouth, but will be without the trio, though he delivered good news in Thibaut Courtois' return to the squad. Mourinho could not yet confirm if the Belgian would start in goal tomorrow. The Belgium international has not played for Chelsea since the end of August after undergoing knee surgery and has missed the majority of the club's disastrous start to the season. And to end the news, a recap of the major stories. Kogi supplementary governorship election. Independent National Electoral Commission wins round 1 as court affirms conduct of election. We also told you that there is no cause for alarm as arsonists torch INEC office in Dekina. Sensitive voters' materials intact, says the resident electoral commissioner in the state. In the news, we equally told you that Nigerians are kicking against media censorship as they berate Senate bill to stifle social media. And with that, we've come to the end of CoreTV Primetime News tonight. Join us in our subsequent bulletins for more news and stories. I am Abosede Omowe. Have a very pleasant night rest.